I'm Malcolm Jolley for MJ Winebox with Phil Brown, the winemaker at Kew. It's a Kew Vineyards. Is that right? Yeah, Vineyards. That's what it
Kew
says on
Vineyards, yeah.
this bottle of Marsanne Viogner 2023, which is why I called you up on the Zoom today, Phil. This is a bit of an outlier, Marsanne and Viognier in Niagara. Tell me about the grapes and then tell me about how you made the wine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is a really neat thing to see these varietals here. So my predecessor at Kew Vineyard, his name's Philip Dowell. He was an Australian winemaker and he had worked with these varietals before back in
Oh.
Australia. And he was really the pioneer that thought to himself when he moved to Canada and started making wine here, I think these varietals could work. And
Sorry, was he
Niagara.
at Toblick? Is it Toblick that had, because they have like the biggest plantation of Marsanne in the world, I think, right?
Ooh, yeah, I don't know which winery it was in Australia. That's a
Okay,
good question.
we'll look it up. I
Yeah,
interrupted
but
you.
you know
Go
what?
on.
Niagara is such a nice sort of young wine region full of innovation and sort of this pioneering. We're slowly discovering the varietals that work well here. Stuff like Riesling and Cab Franc and Pinot and Chard are definitely front runners in that range. But people are growing all sorts of stuff. I think Stratus has Tanat in the ground, So it just
Nice.
goes to show you that you can always trial stuff. And Philip Dowell had this vision of Marsanne and Roussanne growing well here and planted it at the Kew Vineyard. And we also have a satellite vineyard in Beamsville that has a bit at it as well. And he was right. I think these varietals, from my experience with them, which has been fairly narrow, I've had 23 to now working with Marsanne. Have been great. They hang pretty loose, so there's good airflow for our humidity around here. They've been ripening very well and maintaining that acid that gives them good kind of crunchiness. And then Viognier, which we grow very well around here, I think just brings this like fresh, punchy aromatic to it. So it's a fun wine to make because I'm also making wine for Le Clos. Le Clos is always this real hands-off, minimal intervention style. And with Q and these Rhone varietals, it's sort of the opposite for me. It's a real winemaker's wine. It's this maximalist approach where I can have fun with yeast strains and barrels and stirring and blending different components like the Marsanne and Viognier together and kind of crafting far more this product than I do with something like Le Clos, where I just kind of try to stand back, try to let the wine speak for itself. So it's a nice counterpoint for me, especially.
Well, I think it's lovely. It works. I mean, it has the. I think of Marsanne as being a kind of a gentle grapes or Marsanne wines as being a bit gentle, but this has racy Niagara escarpment acidity and a
Mhm.
crispness that I think is really cool and fun. What do you suggest we pair with it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think seafood dishes come to mind, something like salmon or smoked
Mm.
trout or something like that. Because it has that nice kind of crunch and acid to it, I think it can cut through the oiliness of seafood quite nicely. But even just on its own, I think it's a lovely, just sort of patio sipper style wine. It's something that you can dive into and really see all the layers and complexity to it. But on the surface, it's just like easygoing and an enjoyable, approachable wine too. So kind of checks a couple boxes for me.
Absolutely. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, no worries.